Scientific curiosities of dogs. The domestic dog, Canis lupus familiaris, is a subspecies of the wolf. Today we know a handful of scientific curiosities about dogs, the best friends of man. Dogs suffer a transmissible cancer. Dogs are the only mammals in the world that suffer from a communicable cancer, along with the Tasmanian devil. Cancer suffered by dogs is spread during mating, and one of its consequences is the deformation of the genitals. This tumor can affect dogs around the world, and thanks to a genetic study the scientists discovered that the speed and distance with which this cancer expanded suggests that dogs traveled by sea, usually together with humans. Size question. Breeds of the inseparable companion of man exist many, more than 800 varieties, and their size, shape and coat are very diverse according to the breed. In terms of size, the smallest is the Chihuahua, original race of Mexico, and the largest, the Great Dane, race originating in Germany. If we aim at the weight, the heaviest dog is the San Bernardo, original race of the Swiss Alps, because it can weigh 120 kilos. The English Mastiff or Great Dane are also among the heaviest dogs. The depression of dogs. Although dogs generally seem cheerful, happy and carefree, a study published in the journal Current Biology concluded that some dogs are pessimistic by nature, and others have a much more jovial temperament, of course. So, dogs can be pessimistic. Their reactions: they worry, they bark, they misbehave, they whimper, they wander, fearing they were abandoned when we left them alone. The obesity of the Labradors. An investigation carried out by a scientific team led by the University of Cambridge, England, and published in the journal Cell Metabolism, discovered a gene associated with canine obesity. That is, the obesity of the Labrador Retriever is due to a mutation in the POM gene, which links its obsession with food to a biological reason. Night vision. How do dogs see? The dogs have a night vision far superior to the human one. They have a structure called tapetum lucidum in the back of the eye that is able to reflect light for better night vision. Regarding their hearing, dogs are able to hear sounds at a distance of up to 225 meters, although this does not happen throughout life. Newborns are unable to see or hear anything, they only eat 10% of the time, and sleep 90% of the time remaining. Question of genes. Dogs and humans share 75% of the genetic code. Certainly we share more ancestral DNA with dogs than with mice. With the chimpanzee we share 96% of their DNA. The origin of the phrase "the dog is the best friend of man." We've heard it 1,000 times. This phrase must be located for the first time on September 23, 1870, and its author was the lawyer George Graham Vest, who used it during a trial in which he had been hired to represent a client whose dog had been killed by a neighboring farmer, Leonidas Hornsby. The owner of the dog requested compensation of $150. After the lawyer's statement, the jury unanimously decided to punish Hornsby with a fine of $550, much more than the legal limit. The origin of dog-human friendship. Dogs have accompanied the human being for at least 15,000 years and, according to research from the University of Linköping, Sweden, the origin of this friendship with the social skills involved have a genetic basis. The experts identified 5 related genes that in humans are linked to behavioral disorders, such as autism or schizophrenia. Love Bruno. The bond between a dog and its owner is similar to that of a mother with her child. This was determined by a team of scientists from the Department of Animal Science and Biotechnology of the Asabu University, Japan. The study, published in the journal Science, showed that the love hormone, oxytocin, is what has created a connection as strong as that created at a biological level between parents and children. The brain of dogs. The brain of dogs is larger than that of cats thanks to its sociability. There is a link between the size of the brain and the degree of sociability of a particular mammal, and, in the case of dogs, their brain increased the size of their gray matter over time. The brains that have grown the most in the course of evolution have been monkeys, horses, dolphins, camels and dogs. Thus, the brain of cats is much smaller due to its solitary and independent character. Food or caracas? Better caresses. This is the conclusion reached by a study published in the journal Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience, which showed that most dogs prefer to receive a caress from their owners to a piece of sausage, or what is the same, to the food. In the experiment, the activity in the brain area involved in making decisions and rewards was much higher when the dogs were caressed, compared to when they received the piece of sausage. Dogs recognize human emotions. A study by the University of Lincoln, United Kingdom, and the University of São Paulo, Brazil, showed that dogs are able to interpret our moods, because during the experiment with 17 dogs, they did not have time to become familiar with humans chosen, but they responded to an association of emotional signals without this conditioning factor. It is a skill of the animal itself, probably motivated by the long relationship with humans for centuries. How many words can you understand a dog? According to a study by the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, dogs are able to distinguish more than 160 words, some even up to 200. They are also able to recognize signals. The most intelligent dog breed is undoubtedly that of the Border Collie, origin Scotland, England. In addition, dogs can intonation of the human voice through regions of the brain similar to ours.